Giuseppe Verdi was born in Roncore, Italy, on October 10, 1813. His parents ran an inn. Peppino was their first son. At Church of San Michele, an organist helped Peppino introduce to music. His parents bought him an old spinet in which he kept throughout his life. Then he became an organist of San Michele. At 10, he learned from Provesi, who gave Peppino music lessons in Busseto. He began to compose pieces for the local Philharmonic Society and gave his first public concert. He was invited to move in with a music-loving rich merchant, Barezzi's house. By giving piano lessons to their daughter, Margherita, they fell in love. At 18, Verdi studied composition privately with Lavinia in Milan. He often visited Upper Gallery of La Scala and began composing opera. At 23, he became director of the Busseto School. Then married Margherita. She gave birth to 2 children. Both died in infancy. While Verdi was moving to Milan with his family and working on his first opera, Oberto premiered at La Scala in 1839 and well received. But next year, Margherita died. He was devastated. And his comic opera, King of a Day, was a flop. He vowed never to compose again. One day, Mereri, the manager of La Scala, pressed a text of Nabucco into his hands. He took it home and flung it down on a table, where it fell open at the lines, "Go, thought, on wings of gold." This music was racing through his head. Nabucco succeeded sensationally, and he became new hero of Italian opera. At the premiere, Abigail was played by his future wife, Giuseppina. After Nabucco, Verdi wrote 16 operas in 11 years, his galley years. During the years, he was receiving lucrative commissions from abroad. In Paris, where he met Giuseppina again, they fell in love. Her life was complicated, a mother of 3 illegitimate children, and retired from the stage at 30, working as a singing teacher. The couple returned to Italy, but people of his hometown, aware of her personal misadventures, she was shunned in the town. As his fame and fortune grew, Verdi invested money into expanding his estate, including Sant'Agata, where the couple moved in. He gradually spent more time supervising farm work. Verdi was tough in business dealings and led the way for more strictly enforced international copyright law. At 38, he wrote Rigoletto, Il Trovatore, La Traviata. These 3 operas made him an international star. Verdi's musical success coincided with the political events of Italian unification. His name is employed as an acronym for Vittorio Emanuele Re d'Italia. Meanwhile, Verdi got married to Giuseppina, a wedding bouquet made from daisies, which he picked from the roadside. Finally, he was selected as a deputy to the new Italian parliament. When Verdi was touring Russia, as he was a picky eater, packed Italian pasta, cheese and ham, and 20 bottles of champagne and 120 bottles of Bordeaux. At 54, The couple adopted Verdi's young cousin, Maria, who gave them great happiness. In 1871, Aida was premiered in the New Cairo Opera House. Next year, premiered in La Scala and was conducted by himself, was an immense triumph. The title role sung by Teresa Stoltz, she became associated personally with Verdi. In his 60s, he wrote this Requiem dedicated to the Italian poet Manzoni, whom he admired. He toured Europe with Requiem, and Teresa was always by his side. Giuseppina was jealous about this relationship, but pretended to be calm. The same-age composer, Wagner, died. On hearing his death, triste, 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 Wagner had left a powerful mark on the history of art. Along 16 years after Aida, with a talented librettist Boito, Otello had its triumphant premiere, and with Boito again, Verdi premiered the final comic opera, Falstaff. He was 79. Everyone was amazed. Giuseppina, who helped Verdi throughout her life, died in 1897. She was 82. And after her death, Teresa moved into Sant'Agata and became his companion for the rest of his life. In his final years, he built and endowed a rest home for retired musicians. Verdi stipulated in his will was where his royalties were to be paid after his death. He died on January 27th, 1901, and Verdi's body was finally laid to rest here, together with his wife and Teresa. Here's a small episode that left in my heart by Gatti Casazza. When he was young, one day followed his hero around the town of Genoa. Verdi was 75 at the time, but looked 60, energetic and cool, Gatti recalled. Some years later, he had an occasion to meet Verdi and told him about it. Maestro exclaimed, "What a waste! At that age, with a good vigorous pair of legs under you, you should have been following a pretty girl." Verdi left a handwritten note in the corner of his original Falstaff score. "Go, old John, run along your way as long as you can, your own way."